Hello everyone, my name is John Michael Bushman and welcome back to Hearthstone, and today we will be summoning larger and larger men. Yes, as the memes go, we are going to be playing Jade Druid today, and this is the aggro deck that I'm rocking on the rank ladder now, and let me tell you guys right now, it is not as good as I thought it would be. Removal in Hearthstone has gotten so much better over the past couple of years, and Jade Druid simply does not have the chops to keep up with whatever is happening in Hearthstone. Although, the thing about Jade Druid is it's very snowbally. Once you have a critical mass of things going, the Jade army is pretty hard to stop. And as you guys can notice, I don't have Aya Blackpaw in here, or as Day9 would prefer to call her, Uwu Blackpaw. So sadly, no memes there. But I think we don't really need her. Because at the 6-drop slot, I have something of basically as an oh shit button instead in Spreading Plague, and this card has been doing me wonders with the other deck that I am piloting on ranked with the Druid class. But I'm going to wait for one particular card to finally come into the game before I finally show that deck off to the world. But for now, we're just going to be on the rank ladder and summon larger and larger men as the game goes on. So, primary game plan of Jade Druid, just get the Jade army rolling. Everything in here summons a Jade Golem, which is a it starts off as a 1/1, but it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I have had a game where it basically became a 2020, and the art changes depending on how far you've gone in upgrading your Jade Golems. And here, as you can see here in the art, this is Aya Blackpaw herself, and let's just say all of the fan art involving her is not safe for work. But to go over the card by card, first off, we have Jade Display. Now, I have gone back and forth on Jade Display being in this deck at all, but it does feel nice to have basically a plan B, just in case the Jade Idols don't work. Just kill one Jade Display and the subsequent Jade Displays become bigger and bigger and bigger. So similar in similar game plan to the Jade Idols. Once you get the Jade Displays going, it's pretty hard to stop. And of course, they're like multiplicative, if I'm using the term correctly, because you kill one Jade Display and that one becomes two, and then that two will eventually become four, and so on and so forth. So there is that. Although the one flaw that Jade Displays have is they're, well, obviously slow. They need to survive, and they need to get their chip damage in order to do what they need to do. But otherwise, it is a good basically a way to fill out the curve, because we don't have Naturalize in here, simply because we do not have the space. We basically need to last long enough in order to basically get the snowball rolling, and we need the defensive options that I have in this deck in order to get to that point. And then moving on to the next card, Jade Idol. I mean, this has been a staple in Jade Druid ever since. You either summon a Jade Golem, which starts as a 1/1 and then keeps growing as you keep using more Jade Idols, or you make 3 copies and shuffle it into the deck. This is basically the cheapest way to save yourself from fatigue damage, and I have reached games where both me and my opponent are out of cards, and the only way I survived is for every 3 Jade Idols that end up in my hand, I shuffle 1 away and then use the 2 to summon 2 Jade Golems, and we just exchange resources until somehow I outground them. Pretty simple effect, but this will save you from the fatigue matchups. And of course, against Kill Jaden, once they set that demon portal up, there's no coming back from that one. But we'll ignore the fact that that guy exists. Then moving on along, we have Attorney at Maw. Like I said somewhere in the previous video, silence effects are a really good way to get over some minion-based effects here in Hearthstone, and you need to get them as cheaply as possible. The other possibility that you could have in the silence slot is the Smothering Starfish, but that is an epic, and I sadly do not have the dust for it at the moment. And but Attorney at Maw has a partner in crime, surprisingly, which is Mishmash Mosher, but we'll get to that when you get to that. But you're usually using this guy for Guilty, which is Silence, and he is the cheapest possible option that you could have, because the other silence minions at his mana cost, they are conditional silences, or they silence only certain things. And Smothering Starfish, granted, it silences everything on board, but that also includes your own. And sometimes you need your stuff to not be silenced in order to do your thing. So Attorney at Maw is definitely the best silence effect that Druid has. And yes, there's a 4 mana Druid exclusive silence effect, but that's 4 mana, and this is only 2, so it's a lot cheaper. The innocent effect that this guy has works with Mishmash Marsha and Mishmash Marsha only. Also, just to let you guys know, at the time of me recording this video, which is today is the 9th. Yes, today is the 9th of December. Choose one cards are currently bugged to hell, like literally game-breakingly bad. Bugged. The bug is if you mulligan away a choose one card and you draw it later and you play it immediately, the game soft locks you simply by not letting you play. In order to basically get past it, you have to exit the game and hopefully you come back in time to continue playing your turn out. The way that people have found to basically combat this bug at the moment while Blizzard is trying to get their act together, because good God, is to, once the game begins, you just exit the game and then come back, preferably during your opponent's first turn, so that you can quote-unquote work around the bug. And unfortunately, I have a couple of cards here that are choose ones, and well, more than invigorate, actually, Attorney at Maw is the one that causes problems for me. Because of his choose one effects are extremely vital in me doing what I need to do. But unfortunately, or rather, fortunately, rather, whenever I have invigorate, I mean, I don't mulligan it away because, good God, it's a ramp spell. So I mean, you gotta have it. You're a druid player, of course. You need to ramp. And if you don't need the ramp, you can just draw a card, which is something that this deck really needs. Is just a lot of card draw. And then coming up next in the 2-drop slot, Moonlit Guidance. This card is absurdly cracked. Came out in United in Stormwood, which is touted as the most powerful set Hearthstone ever had. Games in standard would end within like 5 to 6 turns, and this card is absurdly insane because discovering a card in your deck creates a copy of that card. It doesn't draw the card. So it's basic. The Moonlit Guidance is basically a third copy of any card in your deck, and it is insane what it does. I'm surprised this hasn't been nerfed and or banned at this point. But you know, it's a really good card, and if it gets nerfed and or banned at some point, I am going to be a very sad panda. And then up next is Solar Eclipse. I still think this is the cutest card in the deck. I could definitely see a scenario where I would cut this card, but it does work insanely well against the certain spells in this deck. In particular, in this deck, doubling up Jade Blossom or Branching Pads using Solar Eclipse is definitely a really nice way to basically have third copies of those specific spells. And hell, I've even had a game where I had to double the Invigorate just so that I can draw more cards. And yeah, Solar Eclipse, good card. I mean, it's been a staple in most druid decks that have a spell package, and you're never gonna leave home without it. Then next up is Ferocious Howl. I mean, it's just a 3-mana draw one. It would have been a mediocre card if it were just that, but giving you armor on top of drawing one card, now that's definitely the big bonus right there. Pretty simple card. I wouldn't leave home without it, honestly, given how absurdly aggro heavy the Wilds format is. Just as a reaction to the combo decks just absurd dominating the top of the meta right now. And then our next 3-drop is Jade Blossom. This is the card that's basically replacing New Heights for its slot, simply because it creates a Jade Golem, and it helps out with our overall plan, but it doesn't increase the number of maximum mana, same way that Wildheart Guff does, but you know, definitely this is just a necessity just to get the Jade plan going, and it's a ramp card, so why wouldn't you have it? And then up next we have Branching Paths. This is an absurdly powerful card. I didn't really understand its value at first until I kept playing with the thing, and good God, either draw two cards or gain 12 armor is insane enough. And then if you have the Eclipse in hand, it's gain 24 armor or draw 4 cards. It's insane. I very rarely use the second mode. I only really use the second mode if and only if I am way ahead. But usually in the scenarios in the games that I play, Branching Paths either comes out when I have parity with my opponent, or I am woefully behind and I need to survive for 1 or 2 more turns, and the armor gain is absurdly necessary at that point. The upgraded, well, quote unquote, upgraded version of Branching Paths is Sleep Under the Stars, but it now costs 8 mana and not 7. People still play it simply because it's a good ass card, but I prefer, Branching Paths because it comes out lower on the curve, and you can use it at 6 mana in tandem with Eclipse, so that you can basically double the effect of this very powerful spell. Then next up on the Jade army here, we have Jade Spirit. I never actually realized that it was a spirit because I thought it was just a float. It was just a body that was floating, and well, it is a body that's floating, but I never realized it didn't have any legs. But 4 mana 3/3 that summons a Jade Golem. I have had a game where I had like 2 Jade Spirits and a Jade Behemoth on board all at once, and then all the Jade Golems were like 5, 6, and 7 respectively. So it's insane at how much value like all of these main deck Jade monsters can do. And look at the flavor text of that thing. I just want to squeeze him, then use him for Jade Golem parts. How dare you, Aya? And this print is from Caverns of Time. That is interesting. All right, cool. Then up next, Poison Seeds. I mean, good board wipe is a good board wipe. What more do you want me to say? It basically fills up your opponent's board with treants, and makes you fight for board space. Usually the 1-2 combo that I do is if my opponent has a full board, I have 10 mana, I use Poison Seeds first and then use Spreading Plagues. That would buy me quite literally 3 turns in order to rebuild, because my opponent will quite literally need to ram all of the triggers that I gave him into the 1/5 scarabs that I made for myself, just so that he will have the board space to summon more minions. And it's probably the only one of the two, I believe, really good like druid exclusive board wipes the class has. I'm not quite sure if there are other board wipes. I haven't really bothered to check because again, I've only really been playing Hearthstone for a couple of months at this point. So good board wipe is a good board wipe. Up next in the Jade army is the Jade Behemoth. It's the only taunt minion in this deck, but you don't really need a lot of taunt minions because your Jade Golems will basically be taking the heat for all of the aggro in this deck anyway, simply because they will sometimes be too huge for what they do. So there is that. And yeah, a 3/6 means that your opponent will have to spend an exorbitant amount of resources, or sometimes their biggest minion, thus making them waste an attack on this thing in order to basically get it out of the way. So never leave home without the Jade Behemoth, and of course it adds to the critical mass of Jade stuff that you have in this deck. Nourish is our next card. I mean, good card is a good card. Surprisingly, I've never had this thing bug out on me, unlike the Attorney at Maw, because it's also a choose one card, and I'm just realizing now that I have a lot of choose one cards in this deck. You would usually actually use this in this specific scenario in particular. You would use this as more as a draw spell rather as a ramp spell. You're going to be using more of your Invigorates and the Jade Blossoms to ramp you up, rather than Nourish being the top end of the ramp package. No, you would use this as a 5 mana draw 3 instead. Simply because you're an aggro deck, you're going to need as much draw power as possible, and Nourish is honestly the best way of going about it. And of course, Wild Heart Guff. This guy has been a staple in wild decks for Druid ever since this guy was introduced in Fractured and Alterac Valley. This guy has never left decks ever since, because he's basically what Invigorate does. You either draw a card or you ramp one. this card is insane, and I would be very sad if I have to dust him one day because I mean I've read the lore on this guy. He is such a himbo. He is so lovable, and I would be very sad if I desperately need to dust him down because good God, this is such a powerful card. And then, of course, Spreading Plague. A lot of people have said that this is one of the most underrated Druid cards out there because you know, if your opponent just has one minion on board and you just summon 1/1/5 for 6 mana, then that's definitely a big waste of mana. However, if your opponent has a full board and then you pay 6 mana to get 7/1/5s on board, and then your opponent will literally have to spend 1 or 2 turns just trying to clear all of those taunt minions, it's insane. This card is far more powerful than it looks, and this card alone has saved me a lot of damage. And the 1/5 stat on the Scarab Beetles is nothing to scoff at either because none of the low cost minions are going to have enough attack power to just quite easily punch through the Scarab Beetles. You need at least 2 low-cost minions in order to get through this thing. And like I said earlier, my wombo, well, quote-unquote wombo combo is Poison Seeds away my opponent's board, give them 7/2/2s, and then use Spreading Plague to basically plug the hole. And my opponent will have to spend a lot of resources in order to get their board back. And the last card in the deck, the Mishmash Mosher. He's only really here due to his interaction with Attorney at Maw, because giving Mishmash Mosher immune basically guarantees that Mishmash Mosher wipes the board because he has Rush, and his only real purpose is basically as a creature-based board wipe. Because after he attacks, he gains +1 attack and attacks a random enemy minion. I have seen games where I would have died at that point, and I drew into Mishmash Mosher. My opponent had like 8, 9, 10, 11 attack and or health minions on board, and then I plopped down Mishmash Mosher alongside Attorney at Maw. And you know, the Attorney at Maw, being what he is, he exonerated the Mishmash Mosher for all of the violence that he's about to cause. And at the end of the day, my Mishmash Mosher became like a 13-10 at that point. Good God, I was able to like very easily clean house, all thanks to this guy right here. And you only really need one of him. I have had builds where I had 2 of him, and he becomes very, very bricky at that point because he's only a one and done kind of thing. You don't really need too many board wipes for this deck in particular, simply because you're the aggro deck. And if you know, wipe your opponent's board, then your board is gonna get wiped as well. So you wouldn't want that in an aggro deck. And yeah, that is my little deck tech for the current iteration of Jade Druid here in the year of our Lord 2024. What are we gonna do in the games today? Well, we're just gonna, like I said in the beginning, we're just gonna keep summoning larger and larger men. So I'll see you in the games.
Malfurion versus Tyrande.
Alright, we have a husband and wife matchup here at first. And ooh, this is actually an interesting opening hand. I want to keep it, but I'm gonna shuffle away the Jade Spirit for now. We're gonna keep Attorney at Maw because knowing what Priest does in Wilds, we might need the silence here. Excuse me. Got gassy there for a second, and it's a Renathal deck. Okay, sure. We got Ferocious Howl, and let's say hi to Malfurion's wife here, and let's see if they greet back. If they don't, then that means we've already been squelched. So there is that. We're gonna keep clicking around, see what we get here. We got the snakes rolling around in there. Sure. There is like this one instance where I was clicking away at this thing, and eventually I got the door to open, and what I got was the Golden Scarab, which is apparently the rarest instance of this door doing its thing. So transform all those cards into random cards from your class. Well, shit. So we basically now have no idea what my opponent is running, but he's basically running a pure priest deck now. There are no neutrals in the deck, so there is that. But it's random, so they could have messed up their curve like immensely, so there is that. Okay, Blackwater Cutlass. Why? From another class? From your class. Okay, cool. Alright, we got that. We finally have a ramp spell. Good God. It only took us like, what, 3 draws? So I'm just gonna ramp it up here. My opponent's not exactly showing too much pressure, but we definitely need to plop down the Jade Spirit here and put a little bit of fear into them, if they do indeed feel that. So let's just keep clicking around here while my opponent makes their life decisions. Unless, of course, my opponent is also like running into the same problems that a lot of the other people are running into right now, especially when it comes to the bugs. Okay, sure, he drew a minion. Oh, you were a rogue all along. You were just pretending. Because you were Maestra. Okay, then. No wonder there was a Cutlass. Okay, so all you have are priest cards. That is interesting. There is that. Okay. So we have 5 mana. So now we just get Jade Spirit down, get our 1/1 down, and let's see if my opponent has something to say about that. They could very easily trade this purifier for this, or that would be definitely be better. Yeah, that's about what I expected. And then they get rid of the Jade Golem. Yes, that's also expected. Okay, got hidden gem. Okay, sure. So they do have a lot of priest cards in their deck right now, thanks to Maestra basically disguising their intentions there. I guess we should still keep the ball rolling here. Just get the Jade Spirit down. Or we can just get Moonlit Guidance, but we're the aggro deck here. We need to keep being aggressive here and getting from 1 point of damage. Gain a little bit of armor as well, so we're gonna see what else our opponent does here. Let's keep clicking. Come on. I don't actually know how to get the door to open in the in PC, because I managed to get it open on mobile. So there's that. Okay, Luminous Geode. After minions healed, give it attack. So that is not a Gucci in the slightest. So we can't attack into this, but we can attack into this. Just trade it up, and then we can't attack into that because it's stealthed. So we do this, and then I honestly think I should silence this. And then we'll just reserve our other stuff for later, because this is going to get out of hand very quickly. I think we're just going to draw cards here, because I'm still looking for the Jade Idols and I have not found them yet. Okay, so there's the Jade Idol, but that'll be for next turn. So the technique with the Jades in particular is since you have 2 copies of Jade Idol in your deck. The first Jade Idol you should always shuffle the 3 copies, and then the second Jade Idol, you start making the Jade Golems so that you can keep the pressure up. So we're going to do that now. So we'll shuffle those into the deck, and then we're going to actually no, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to use Ferocious Howl, gain a bit of armor. We got a Jade display, so we can get that ball rolling. That'll force my opponent to think about their life decisions here. So we swing into that, and then I guess we use Moonlit Guidance here. Look for something useful. Jade Behemoth is nice. It's a taunt minion for later. Or we could also get Nourish, draw even more cards after the fact. Even if we do have an Invigorate, I guess we need to get another Jade Idol here, just so that we can, keep upgrading our Jade army here. And eventually it snowballs to the point where my rogue opponent here will not have the resources to kill my minions on board. Maestra is also like decently statted, so I'm not too confident about what's going to happen here. Okay, that is fine, and yeah, that's to be expected. The Jade displays are going to get destroyed, but I will need to, and eventually it will come to a point where they'll basically get overwhelmed by all the stuff that I'm doing. So we'll shuffle 3 more in, because they're not exactly too big yet, but we'll get another Jade on board. There we go, and then we'll actually draw a card with this. We'll gain our mana naturally here. Alright, cool. So we summon a 5/5 now, and let's see if my opponent will find that problematic. So we do this, and then this is actually dangerous, Starlight Reactor. I mean, I could have silenced it now that I think about it, so that it doesn't get a starship piece. But I'm just realizing that Alternate Maw having three health is doing a lot of work right now. So there's that. Now would be a good time as any to wipe the board, but not after I do my thing here first. Okay, actually, we could wipe the board after I do this. So here's what we're gonna do. So we get the Jade display here, alright? Then we attack, and then deal damage equal to this minion stack to all enemy minions. Oh no! Ah! You're gonna kill my shit! Ah! Oh no! That is actually fine. What actually happens if I silence this? Okay, for science, we're gonna see what happens. If I silence this, does that mean it's no longer a starship piece? And then I wipe the board here. And then, yes, he doesn't get a starship piece. That is good to know. I mean, granted, you know, when you silence a minion, they lose all of their stats. So, yeah, it's basically what it says on the tin. It becomes a vanilla, basically. So my opponent is trading away their shit here, and some people would say that that was way too early a use for the board wipe, but I think we'll be doing fine here because my opponent will now have to contend with a 6/6 here. This is why now that I think about it, I honestly think I should have taken that nourish when I had that discover, but I think we're doing fine here because my opponent's only inflicting like what 5 points of damage a turn. Oh shit, Shadow Word Ruin is definitely going to set me back a bit. Unless I get a card draw spell. That's not a card draw spell, but it's something. So there is that. So we gain an empty mana crystal. So there's that. We'll swing for our 1 at our opponent. We have a 7/7 that my opponent can very easily deal with all of their priest cards. That Maestra cover up was insane. Caught me off guard for a bit there. Okay, so they're swinging for their 5. I am at a very, very low life total now. So let's see what we draw off the top. Okay, a taunt minion is exactly what we were looking for. We'll swing for a 7 and, well, 8 technically. So there's that. Okay, so life total is now at a somewhat stable. So we're going to see what my opponent's gonna do. I've actually been trying to look up lore about Valera here, and I'm pretty sure she's a vampire given her last name, but you know, I could be very, very wrong here. Okay, yep. Sacrificing his 2 Treants and the healer, I believe. No, the Dark Cultist. His name is Dark Cultist. Okay, there we go. I don't think you should because I mean, he will survive, but he has other. Okay, Sonya Water Dancer is scary. So it's going to create a 0 cost, and okay, Shadow Dancer as well. Okay, sure. So this is going to be. This might just be my opponent's pop-off turn. We're gonna see how murdered. Okay, we're gonna get murdered very, very hard here. Okay. Now it's mine. Oh, okay then. I did not expect to live. So swing, and then poison seeds. There we go. Just wipe their board. Then you have a full board of bullshit, and then I will use. I could use spreading plague here, but I think I don't want to mess up my draws right now because I'm pretty sure I still have a couple of Jade Idols in the deck. So we're just gonna summon a 9/9 for now and see if my opponent deals with it. Otherwise, we have the 2 Treants here. We're still at a relatively healthy life total. We can take 1 barrage of attacks from all of these Treants before we have to set up the Spreading Plague here. As you guys can see, this is definitely the biggest downside with this deck. Once your card draw runs out, it's definitely not gonna feel good. Okay, yep, got their fan club down. That is fine. Restore 3 health. Temporis. Oh, okay. So I'll take 2 turns first, and then my opponent will take 2 turns. So that is something. Oh dear. This is not looking good. So this is my extra turn. So 1 turn to make it work. Ooh, that is surprisingly nice. Not nice actually. So we're just gonna create two Jade Golems, and unfortunately just be happy with it. I did not get any of my card draw at all. I don't even know if I have any at this point, so or they have been like buried under all of the Jade idols that I have been creating. So we're going to see what my opponent does with their 2 turns. I have not seen this guy like at all, and I've never expected him. Okay, yep. To be expected, he created copies of all of these minions, so we're going to see what happens here. Like, yeah, sure. Creature removal, that. Only Temporos can attack here, which is surprising. I am not sure how much further we can go here. Okay, yep, creating a 1-1. I don't know why. Okay. Oh god, he created an 11-11. Shit. Sure. 11. Oh, I think I'm dead? Question mark? Oh shit. Wow, exact lethal. Holy shit. I did not think the math worked out there, but okay. Being good in my rogue opponent there. That is a well-earned victory in their book. Let's move on to the next game.
Malfurion versus Rexar.
So we're facing off against Hunter. We are. I am not quite sure how screwed we are here, but well, we have board wipes, but I don't think we'll need it at this exact juncture. We're gonna need something faster than this, because Hunter is one of two things. It's either Quest Hunter or Beast Hunter, and we got our boy Guff, so we have something to do on turn 4 at least. But for the rest of this game, for the rest of the turns leading up to turn 4, I am not quite sure. Although, my only consolation in this is that, oh dear god, so they just get something for merely playing the game. I am not too sure what the mask does, so we're just gonna pass our turn, give our greening, and let's see if our opponent responds in kind. My eyes are upon you. Don't you dare. Oh, fuck. This card used to be the bane of everyone's existence way back when. Okay. So if you guys didn't know, this thing right here, this card has already been nerfed. This used to be a 2-4. Now it's a 2-3, and it's a lot easier to deal with. So we'll use that, and oh god, we're not getting what we need here. We'll just get a Jade Blossom, so that we can ramp next turn, and then play Guff on curve and whatnot. So there is that. Although this will be eternally stacking until we get rid of it. So we will be in a lot of trouble soon here. So we get our Jade Golem. We're gonna get a Jade Golem down, and hope to be happy with it. Again, we are not in a good position right now until we can at least. My only answer to this is me silencing it, or just throwing enough bodies at it until we get what we need. But okay, good. So now we have a silence. I think we should use it right here, right now, rather than it becoming a problem until later. Okay, so we have a nourish, so we have a way to reload later, so there is that. And okay, that will be good enough, I hope. If my opponent has another one of these watch posts again, we might need to do more. That's just what we did there. Okay, opponent's playing a lot of Draenei. I am not too sure yet what my opponent is doing. Right, now that I silence it, it can attack now. That's fine, that's fine. So we get our boy Guff here, and now we have a consistent draw engine. Just right up there. So we'll also get our Jade display down, just as a way to put the fear of God on my opponent. So we trade these in, and we pass back to our opponent here, and let's see what 2 spells my opponent gets. I'm assuming they're useful because it discovers any spell, so it can be from any class, including, of course, Hunter, but we're gonna see how useful they are in a bit here. So one thing I like doing here in this, I believe this is the Witchwood board, given all of the motifs surrounding it. Okay, alien encounters, that is fine, and they keep summoning more minions, sure. Okay, we're gonna get ouch. Hit for 5 here. They were not able to use their hero power because they were down a lot of mana. Okay. What do we do from here? We could draw 6 cards, but we have like enough cards in hand anyway. So what we're going to do is we could create a lot of blockers. So we're going to destroy the Jade display here. And we're going to create a whole host of blockers, or we can just, restore. We can just get some armor. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Simply because my opponent has a huge advantage in terms of board presence right now. So we're going to need to stall a little by gaining 24 armor. And we'll even get a mana crystal in return, or rather, as a as a little reward for what we did there. Okay, we get an empty mana crystal because we still have jade things in our hand anyway. So having all of this is going to be helpful in the long run. Hopefully, at least. So my opponent does that. Okay, Titan Forge Traps has been a staple in like Titan, rather not Titan, in Hunter decks ever since they were introduced. I face off against that specific card whenever Hunter is around, so there is that. Okay, yep, okay, yep, yeah, they're swinging in for their points of damage. That is to be expected. Yep, yeah, yeah. Ooh, that is nice, but we'll get our taunt minion down. There we go. And then we got a secret, deal 6 damage to it. That is fine, at least it's there. Out of my face, and we get another Jade in, and we pass a turn back. So my creatures are not getting too much bigger, but they can profitably trade up to the shit that I have on board now. So there is that, and opponent is having Colossi put into his deck, so that is scary. Okay, cool. If he starts punching here, then that means his deck has no duplicates. Okay, so we're facing off against Highlander Hunter. I am not confident about my odds here, but we're going to need to delay even more now. But thankfully, I managed to create all that armor earlier, so now we can do this. And then, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, do your thing there, opponent. Do your thing there, do your thing. I'm just gonna click away so that it progresses faster. Well, if only ever so slightly. We don't have the board space to create the Jade Golem anyway, so we're just going to draw our 1 card and be happy with it. That does not do anything. So we're just going to pass back to our opponent, and let's see them deal with this board. Oh my god. I love and hate these kinds of board stalls. Because it'll just be the opponent just, getting through all of this, like, thick line of defenses, and I'm just waiting here until he kills something so that I can put a body on board. Oh god. So we drew into another Spreading Plague. It would make me really happy if I draw into a Solar Eclipse, just so that I can do more shit, Okay, yep, using the hero power there is to be expected. Another Jade Behemoth, but we're going to draw our 3 cards here. I'm looking for Jade Idols in specific, because I have not seen them this whole game yet. Okay, Attorney Maw is going to be useful later, but not now. There are no profitable attacks, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is we're going to ramp a little, and then we'll finally use the coin to turbo out the Jade Spirit here, so we can get a 5/5. And there we go. I have a full board yet again, and my opponent will literally have to punch their way through all of this thing. So this is going to be a slow... Well, not going to be slow now. Reno is still fucking good. In spite being nerfed to the ground, he's still good. Don't get me wrong, he is still good. But the amount of advantage my opponent has over me now can definitely not be overstated. I can safely concede at this point because there is absolutely no way... Well, we're gonna see first. Hold on. If I draw a board wipe, we might still stand a chance. No, we did not. Do we draw a board wipe with this? No, we do not. Alright, we are definitely dead. I'll just see you guys in the next game.
Malfurion versus Illidan.
We're up against Demon Hunter, and
This
Demon
isn't
Hunter
over
is,
between us,
well, let's just say
brother.
it has
I
never
must
been
protect the
so
wild.
low in my threats list. Well, like the entire time that I've been playing this game. But we're going to mulligan away these two because I don't think we'll need them at at this current moment. And having Moonlit Guidance is basically additional copies of whatever it is that I need. So we're going to see what my opponent does here. I can Turbo out Invigorate on turn 2, which will basically jump us ahead like a turn of my opponent here. And okay, they're just going in and for that 1 point of damage. So we're just going to ramp it up, then greet our opponent.
My greeting.
Let's see how they respond. If at all, unless I've already been like pre-squelched, so there is that. I mean, a little bit of pleasantries is nice, you know. Before you squelch your opponent, you should at least say hello. Some people have the decency to do that. But we're going to see what my Demon Hunter opponent has. It's pirates, of course, it's pirates. Oh my god, Demon Hunter, how far have you fallen that you're playing an archetype that is like completely outside of your identity? Good god. We're gonna get Nerdish because I think we'll need the card draw here, and we'll start creating the snowball that is Jade Idol. So there is that, and I think we'll use Moonlit Guidance again next turn, and let's see what shakes loose from that. Although Treasure Distributor is a must-kill card. If you let this run rampant, it's just going to keep
Welcome to the crew.
creating threat upon threat upon threat. Because the +1 attack may not seem like much, but it adds up, especially once they start like flooding their board. So we're going to need to find a way to either kill that guy or just straight up kill the guys that he summons. So there is that. At the very least, I want to silence him, just so that we can just not think about him anymore. Okay, so we're going to use Moonlit Guidance, and well, you know what? You know, my prayer has been answered. Let's see if we get bugged out. No, we do not. So thank the gods for that one. Now that he's been silenced, he will no longer be. Although we still have a 5-1 attacker is very easy to. Well, just take 5 to the face here this turn. So it's gonna hurt like a bitch, but hey, at least I'll be able to kill him when it comes down to it. So there is that. So now let's see. My opponent is probably thinking how best to tackle this. Well, let's see if I can get the code here. Okay, and oh, we got those at this current juncture. That is nice. I still don't quite know what else is interactable in this specific stage, you know. Sometimes the interacting with the telescope doesn't work on occasion. I don't know why. And I have been trying to click on the other parts of the telescope here, and nothing much else happens. I don't know why. So that happened. That is, this is gonna be a problem, isn't it? I might just die soon here if I don't draw into a board wipe, so we're gonna draw our 3 cards here, and we'll just take, what, 9, 11 damage to the face, and if we don't draw a board wipe this turn, I am definitely highly likely dead, or, you know, we can set up a Spreading Plague and delay for even longer. Yeah, I'm definitely not confident about this, so either we skip to the next game, or, we just, you know, I somehow find a way to crawl out of this. So I'll see you guys there.
Good hit. My turn.
Oh, I'm definitely not getting out of this one. Next game it is then.
Malfurion versus Jaina.
We're up against Mage, and we're going to see how far we
I
go
must
here.
protect the wild.
We might not need Poison Seeds for this specific matchup. Hell, I'll even like mulligan away the Jade Spirit because we are looking for the Jade Idols here. Jade Display is not Jade Idol, but it will at least get our ball rolling. So there is that. We are going second, so I will definitely turbo out the Invigorate here, and we will do our. I will do my little thing here, and oh, they have a quest. Good. That is a jolly good time indeed. I mulliganed you away. God damn it. So we'll use Rejuvenate on turn 1, and we will greet my opponent, and let's see if they respond in kind. If at all, in which case I may have already been pretty squelched, so there is that. Okay. Yep. Oh god, it's Secret Mage. With the quest as a win condition. So we might be in trouble here. We're going to find out soon enough. So we'll ramp again and get our Jade Golem down. And then we'll use Nourish next turn to draw some cards. And we're going to see how far we go here. Okay, opponent did not do anything in that turn, so that is a joyous. And we'll use our Jade Golem for 1 point of damage. Oh no, they gain 8 armor. Okay, good. At least just that. Oh, good god, it could have been so much worse. So we'll get the Frost Dragon here to blow some ice, and I'm still not quite sure what else is interactable on this part of the field here, but this one is definitely guaranteed. It's just this, you know, then you click here, and then that happens, and the ice sculpture does its thing, so there's that. I am not too confident about my odds here. I'm already at 24. My opponent's been barely scratched. I mean, in no small part to the armor that they gained. So there is that. That's our first Jade Idol, so we'll shuffle away that one. And then we will do our chicanery here. I guess we'll gain some armor. See what shakes loose. Alright, cool. So I'm not in a good spot, but I'm not in too bad a spot either. My opponent is still like setting up to get to the end goal of the quest line here. I mean, it's going to be pretty easy. Given the builds that I've seen with Quest Mage plus a couple of secrets. But we're going to find out. Ooh, I want to draw cards, but I think we have to search for something spicier than that, like this Jade Spirit. There we go. So we do that. Then we get our how big is it now? 2/2. Sure. So now we have a couple more bodies on board, and we're going to see if my opponent has something for this. I'm assuming they do. They're mage. Their removal is insane at times. Okay, cool. So now they have completed that, and then I believe the hero card, or rather the final quest reward is yeah, spell damage +3. So yeah, Dawn Grasp is coming up soon here, and they put down 2 3-mana secrets. I mean, it's pretty safe to assume that those are. Oh, it's not counterspell. All right, cool. Okay then. I expected it to be counterspell and or. Oh, wow. Okay. Opponent is stalling really well. Sure. That is actually surprisingly fine. So he's basically built his deck in such a way that he'll survive whatever it is that aggro throws at him, and honestly, that's very commendable. Let's see if they survive against this. Okay, there we go. I haven't been able to ramp too well, but we're doing surprisingly fine at this point, because our Jade Golems are getting bigger, and we have a couple of draw spells and or armor gain stuff at the ready here. Okay, sure. Deals 1 more damage this game, so this is dealing for 2 now. Dawn Grasp isn't active yet, so he now just needs to cast an arcane spell here. Fire Hero power at all enemies, so boom. Good that he destroyed the Jade display, so that means he's going to go back into the deck now and give me a good shuffle. And we're going to see how far my opponent goes here. I mean, oh, then again, they're out of mana, so there's that. So we get another Jade Spirit. That is fine. I guess we just plop these down. Woohoo! Okay, Battle Cry, Fairy Hero power at all enemies. I could trade into it, but I think I'd rather just reduce my opponent's armor to 0. And then have them worry about my now slightly threatening board. I think, well, at least it would look threatening if it were me. So they got a random secret. I don't know what this is. I mean, it's 3 mana, so there's that. 5 damage, sure. Now we need to draw 3 cards. There we go. Counterspell? Yeah, it was counterspell. Alright, cool. Now we draw 3 cards the other way. Oh shit, I miscalculated that mana. That was definitely a hunt. So we're going to do the oops here. I mean, if my opponent isn't responding, I'm assuming that I've already been squelched. So there is that. so opponent does their thing. All right, yep, they definitely have their Dawn Grasp hero now, and yeah, all of their spells now are deal 3 additional damage, and I am definitely way behind at this point. Mishmash Mosher sort of helps, but it's not going to do too much in the face of whatever this my opponent. So wow, a second counter spell, that is nice. What a magic moment indeed. So we'll get Lunar Eclipse here, and we'll just gain some armor. Um, because I miscalculated earlier, and we'll gain 24 armor, and we're going to see if we survive until next turn. So I'll just see you guys either at the next game, because I do not like my odds at this point, because all of their spells deal an additional 3 damage now, on top of any other buff that they could potentially have. And then of course I haven't been able to roll my Jades very well here, because my opponent just keeps removing all of it, and also I'm not drawing well as well. So either I see you guys at the next game, or I somehow crawl my way out of this. See you guys there.
Malfurion versus Valera.
Alright, we're up against Rogue again, and we're going to see what... Oh god. Definitely mulligan away the branching paths. We won't be needing it at this current juncture. Attorney at Maul could be useful for whatever minions that Rogue could have here. Usually Sonya is a way to get a lot of advantage. So we're going to see what my opponent's going to be up to. Assuming, of course, they don't disconnect, which is also a thing that happens often at this current juncture in Hearthstone. It's a pretty buggy mess right now. Like after their one of their more recent patches, Hearthstone has been like on the downturn in terms of QA here. But we're going to see. Okay, opponent is playing a Renathal, so there's that. And thank the gods we have a Jade Idol like immediately, so we can start rolling that. So my opponent draws, and let's see what they get. Or rather, let's see what they start with. Or if at all, I mean, they could also just, you know, pass turn, begin their turn on turn 2 and whatnot. So we're going to see here. They are thinking hard though, or you know, they similar to a lot of the other or rather to the tip that people have been giving out. If your opponent's turn is still going, exit the game, come back in, and hopefully you will have enough time in order to do the thing here. And oh, they do have a quest, Bazaar Burglar. Oh, it's Thief Rogue. Okay, cool. We still don't have anything to do. Turn 4 is the earliest thing that we can do anything in this game in particular. So I am not too confident about what's going to happen here, because Thief Rogue is, you know, to be honest, is very fun to watch, because and I have been actually considering building this deck as well, simply because of the Ancient Blades reward. And it's insane that the Ancient Blades part is honestly really good. Because it's a 3-2 instead of a 1-2, and the additional 2 points of damage makes a huge ass difference. Although the downside of, quote unquote downside of it is you need to play cards from another class, and given Rogue, it's going to be very easy to do so. I have actually been thinking of converting into Thief Rogue rather than Coin Rogue, because simply because this deck is honestly a lot more stable. But I am enjoying Coin Rogue far more. So there is that. What do we do here? We could make the 2 Jade Idols here, because I have like shuffled 2 away into the deck. So yeah, we're going to create bodies and make my opponent deal with it. So there we go. A 1-1 and a 2-2 opponent. What do you have against that? If and you know anything at all. It's also possible they could just ignore it, you know. But they haven't been doing any thieving yet, so we're going to see. Okay, jumping ahead for mana. What do you have? Underbelly Fence. Okay, so they have a card from another class in hand, and yep, pretty obvious that they're gonna want to do that. Sure. So now we get Jade Spirit down, we get our 3/3, which these 2 bodies trade fairly well against the Underbelly Fences that they have here. So we're gonna see what my opponent does. They've only played 1 card from another class so far. I believe it was Reconnaissance was the card they played, but I wasn't exactly checking. So we're going to see what my opponent does here, and we're just gonna. I mean, I'm just gonna have a drink of water while my opponent plays away at the board here. We're gonna see here. Okay, Hench Clan Burglar, sure. I'm gonna have a drink of water. Oh, it's my turn. Cool. J display is not exactly what I'm looking for, so we're going to draw our 2 cards. I very rarely do this with branching pads in particular, but for this specific instance, we need to do it, unfortunately. So we draw our cards, and we had a Jade Behemoth, so there is that. And I'm actually going to crash the Jade display into the Burglar here, just so that we can get that ball rolling as well. And we've only got 1 Jade Idol rolling at the current moment, so I am not too confident about the snowball that I'm trading right now. So there is that, and opponent is taking their sweet time to make decisions in this game. So not exactly Gucci in my book. Okay, sure. Add 2 random spells from another class to your hand. Hey, those are my cards. But it is random spell, so it can't just be the cards that I have in my deck. So there's that. Good God, Immune is so good that it just simply makes you it just simply guarantees that you don't take as much damage as you do whenever you like try basically use yourself to trade into the minions that your opponent controls. But okay, now we have a 3/6 and a 4/4. What do you have against that, opponent? You have to attack into the 3/6 first if you're going. I mean, there's a reason why I love Ancient Blade so much. Good God, I should look up like builds of Thief Rogue. I might be interested in making this deck. You know, just converting all of my the pieces from my Coin Rogue deck into this. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Okay, finally drawing into a ramp spell after like what 87,000 years. So there's that. Invigorate or Guff? I mean, I gotta go with my boy. You're like, come on. Of course I'm gonna go with my boy. Like, are you really going to give me any other choice here, deck? There we go. And because we discovered it off of Moonlit Guidance, we draw the other copy. It's really weird that Hearthstone does it this way, you know? You discover the card with Moonlit Guidance, and then it draws the card if you play it that turn. So it's honestly really weird. Okay, yep, discover a mage spell. Sure, that is fine. I do need to like get rid of these guys, at least get rid of the Argent Commander soon, because he's going to pile on the damage like very quickly here. Although I do have the Mishmash Mosher Attorney at Maw combo, well, quote-unquote combo, but I think it would be better to just set up the Jade Blossom, Jade Idol, rather Jade Behemoth thing first, just so that we have bodies on the board. There we go. At least it'll at least be something for my opponent to think about, and it will basically force him to sacrifice the Argent Commander into the Jade Behemoth, and then it'll give me a few points of health, or rather a few turns to get ahead of things, if at all. And then I'll gain 5 more armor with the second copy of Guff that I have in hand. Of note, it doesn't like make your maximum mana 40, so keep that in mind. It just sets your maximum to 20. But the gain 5 armor and draw card thing still happens, of course. Okay, cool. Destroying the Jade displays is nice because that gives more cards and things. 5 them, that is fine. We are now in a completely simplified board state, and I believe they already attacked this turn. Yes, they already did. So we got a branching pads. So we'll spend. I'm more than happy to spend 5 mana here and gain 5 more armor. We got another Jade display. We'll draw 1 more card. What do we get? We got an Invigorate. We will draw 1 more card because, again, modal spells are really good. And we'll get our Jade display down, and we'll say go to our opponent. I mean, it's safe to assume that my opponent's just gonna swing into this, and eventually it will come to a point where my Jade army is like too big for Rogue to handle. Because Rogue has like a small threshold of damage, like numbered damage that it can do. It does have, I believe, a couple of things that just straight up say destroy, and but they are very few and far in between. And the only board wipe I believe Rogue has is Vanish, which bounces all minions to hand. But even then, that thing is like not good enough. Death Rattle, add a random dragon to your hand. Huh. Let's draw a card first with Guff. What are you gonna give for us, boy? Okay, that is fine. So we're going to double cast the Magic Pads. So we're going to gain 12 armor, just as a way to get past this, and then we'll draw 2 cards. So we're gonna see what shakes loose. We got a Nourish, and we'll draw one more card. What else do we get? A Jade Display. So 7 cards, and then we draw our 3. Well, we spend 1, so we have 6 cards in hand, and then we draw our 3, so we'll be at 9. So we'll do that, and then pass back to our opponent. And we got another Jade Idol, so there is that. Okay, Ferocious Howl as well. And then our opponent will attack. Sure. That is fine. They got another burglar going. Sure. I think I should just, plop down all of these guys and see if my opponent answers it. I mean, they could very likely answer it. We will have 10 cards in hand, so we will get the maximum value out of Ferocious Howl, which is gaining 10 armor, well, 9 armor rather, out of this thing. So, we're going to see what else my opponent does. I mean, wow, they just passed with Man Open. Okay, sure. Get Ferocious Howl, gain some more armor. We're going to gain even more armor. So we got a Jade Display there. Sadly, this is the only Jade Idol we have, so unfortunately... actually, I don't want to... No. We're going to draw a card first, and see if we get another Jade Idol. No, we do not. Alright, cool. We'll draw a card with Valley Root, and we got another Jade... Fuck, I should have spent the card first. But, that's fine, that's fine. So we'll get 1, a 2, a 3, and then shuffle these into the deck. There we go. I mean, Guff's already like a good enough draw engine that basically we draw one additional card per turn, so we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Hopefully, we'll be fine. Breathing in that copium right there. So let's see what my opponent does about this. And while my opponent is thinking about their life decisions, I'm gonna go for a little pee break while my opponent does their thing here. Okay, came back just in time to see what my opponent did, and they only set this up, attacked me for a bit. So for maximum damage, we're going to use the Mishmash Moshi to get rid of his board. And we'll attack with the rest of our boys here. And I mean, it's not optimal, but I don't think we'll get a better opportunity for Mishmash Moshi here. So we'll swing in for our 12, and that's going to hopefully be scary enough for my opponent to make them reconsider their life decisions here. Then we do that. Okay, cool. We got a Jade Idol. We'll draw another Jade Idol, so we'll summon a 7/7 with this one. And then the one that we draw is the one that we will create the duplicates and shuffle that into the deck. Alright, cool. I have a decently sized army on board, and I am not too sure why my opponent is taking their sweet ass time doing what they need to do here. I mean, I'm an aggro deck. Well, then again, aggro decks are usually rogues like big. There we go. I was waiting for a board wipe out of you, given that they discovered a lot of these cards earlier, so there is that. So now they can breathe a lot easier, simply because they quite literally got rid of everything that I had. So now we have to rebuild like a motherfucker. So we'll draw our 3 cards because we literally have nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing. So we got a Jade Idol and a Jade Idol. So we'll get 1 Jade Idol, we'll get 2 Jade Idols, and do we make a third? Because I'm pretty sure there's still like 1 more in the deck. Yeah, 7 cards in the deck. 1 of them is likely a Jade Idol, so we're going to do that. And let's see what my opponent says about this. 17. This is exactly 27 points of damage, opponent. If you have nothing for this, then good God. Although we are like in the very, very late game now. Okay, cool. They bounce my boys back to hand, which is 8, 9, 10 respectively. That's a funny thing about the Jade Golems. Once you create them out of the Jade Idol, their stats is equal to their mana cost. So it's going to be very expensive to redeploy them. So what we'll do next now is to just make more of these of these Jade Idols that I think we still have them in the deck at this point. So, and we have Attorney at Maw in case we need a minion that needs silent. We need a minion on the opponent's field rather that needs silencing. So there is that. And good God, they have gotten a lot of value out of these Ancient Blades. Now I'm really interested in creating a there we go. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So we'll shuffle 3 more into the deck because again we have like an absurd amount of card advantage here at the moment. And okay, yeah, we'll keep shuffling them in because we still have like these 2 in hand. So there is that. And I mean, my opponent will likely have an easy way to get rid of 1 Jade Golem, although it's a 10-10. And the damage cap that a lot of rogue cards have cap out at around 4. And then priest cards will help supplement that. So there is that. So let's see what my opponent does here, if at all. I mean, they could just attack with their immune granting blades here, but yeah, it has done a lot of work for them this game. So yeah, definitely good that just ignore me. And yeah, setting up a taunt is also really nice. But what if I told the opponent that I have a silencer in hand? Okay, sure. Opponent is really stockpiling their cards. Jesus Christ. Goes to show that opponent is seems to be an experienced player here. So we'll silence that so that it doesn't come back. And then it would actually do me good to trade this off, but we're going to see what shakes loose first. Hold on. See what shakes loose first. Alright, cool. 9 mana for this. We still have 6 mana left after all of that. That is fascinating. So we'll create an 11/11 and we'll shuffle this one. There we go. And now my opponent has a couple of problems to deal with. Now that he doesn't have a minion that can be reborn, so there is that. He's now facing against what is this? 19, 11, carry 1. This is 20, 30. There's 30 damage on board, opponent. Okay, that does not solve all of your problems. You still have 21 damage on board. I mean, you have like a full grip, opponent. Surely you have something. Yeah, sure. Ignoring me, that is fine. Or rather, ignoring the board, that is fine. So that means my opponent has a spell or 2 in hand that can solve the problems on board. Because that's exactly what he's been doing this whole game. Okay, sure. Oh, Tess. All right, things are gonna get wild. Yep, Plague of Death, silence destroy all minions, so she kills herself. Sure, deal 2 damage. Yep. She literally is going to kill her. Oh, okay. Those are the only things. Okay, cool. That is. Wait, it only plays last. No. Only this game. Okay, sure. Hiking trail even. Oh my god. Okay, yep. Binding heal. That is fine. And then what else are we gonna do here? Alright, opponent ran out of time there, but I think we'll be fine here. We'll do our 1 card. Okay, cool. I think I should resurrect a different Death Rattle minion. I don't quite remember what else they have in their deck, to be honest. So we'll just Poison Seeds it, just reduce it to 1 health and give him more problems to deal with. Incredible. Yes, I know. Thank you for the compliment. I guess we should just do it again. But no, I'm going to save that. We're just going to create a wall here, and for exactly 8, we're going to put the Jade Golem just to be annoying. And that will also force my opponent to attack into these Scarabs first and then just ignore the Jade Golem altogether. Or rather, get some heat off of the Jade Golem here. And that was exactly 20 mana. Holy shit. I can only wonder what's going through my opponent's head. I mean, we are both playing this game really... I mean, my opponent in particular is playing this really slowly. They could do by being just a little bit faster. But, if it's just going to be like this, then, okay, cool. Again, opponent found a clean way to do their thing. That is fine. A 6-5 is nothing to scoff at, sure. opponent still has minions to throw at me here, and yeah. I am not too confident about my odds at this point, simply because I am not throwing too well. But we're going to see. Okay, this at least summons a 12-12. So this game is going to take a lot longer. Simply because my opponent is playing this really good tempo game, honestly. So I'll just see you guys either at the next interesting point or at the end of this duel. Not duel, game. It's a game. So see you guys there. Okay, we're at the end of the game, and well, as expected, my opponent out-tempoed me to death. So my opponent definitely played their cards like really close, and yeah, he basically outvalued me all the way to the end there. Um, well, I recommend Jade Golems in the year of our Lord 2024. Absolutely not. It is definitely a step too slow in the current state of the game, and the game is a lot faster now than when Jades were a thing like way back in the day. It's definitely fun to bust out every once in a while, you know, catch a couple of people off guard, but ultimately you're better off, you know, just keeping up with the times rather than going back to something, you know, a lot more antiquated, so to speak, and surprisingly appropriate given that given what the Jade Golems are. So yeah, we're gonna cut it here, and if you guys like what you saw, hit like, comment, subscribe, and share this among your friends. And until next time, toodles.